and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1857A, and today's date is May 2nd, 2019, and the title of the episode is Central Bank Falls Right into the Trap. Did you catch it? Now, this is the time of year that most of us have a big old clear out. We get rid of all the stuff that's collected through the winter, hidden away in the back of a cupboard or a file cabinet. There might be a gold mine. Noble Gold can show you how to blow the financial dust off those files, revitalize the dead money, and catapult your retirement savings into orbit. Just for May, to celebrate Memorial Day, they are offering a solid silver Trump 2020 coin and a 10-ounce silver bar for anyone rolling over an IRA or cash deal over $20,000. Talk to the team over at Noble Gold today and call 877-646-5347. Protect your retirement by investing in a gold IRA. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, the plan is working absolutely perfectly. Exactly what Trump wanted to happen is happening. Remember, Trump just tweeted out that he would like the central bank to lower interest rates. That was the first tweet saying, hey, okay, let everyone take a look at the central bank. We know there's a meeting coming up. I want them to lower rates. This should be done because the economy would boom. If they don't raise rates and they keep rates steady, or they raise rates, it's going to ruin the economy. And what did we see happen today? Well, we saw the central bank do exactly what Trump wanted them to do. They didn't raise rates. Now, this might sound confusing, but this is part of the plan, which we'll be discussing a little bit later in this report. But first, I wanted to go to auto sales, because U.S. auto sales in April, they are declining very, very rapidly. They tumbled by 6.1%. Now, we know, going back in time, how all this was done with the automobile manufacturers. They took their cars, they stuffed the dealership lots, they called them sales, and sales looked great. On the other hand, they kept lowering the credit score, so more and more people went into debt, they went into subprime, and they kept on pushing the cars out there. Now there's a problem. The central bank system is falling apart, and people, well, their debt level is way too high. And it's not just happening here in the United States. It's happening around the globe. And this is a huge problem. We know it's happening in China. We know it's happening in Europe. And when we look at all the major manufacturers like Ford, their sales fell by 4.7%. Fiat Chrysler down 6.1%. Toyota down 4.4%. And this just goes on and on and on. And what we're seeing right now is that this is what it looks like when a system implodes on itself. What system is this? This is a central bank system. It was never meant to last this long. And Trump is doing his best to keep the system alive. And this is why he needed to take control of the Fed without anyone really realizing that he's controlling the Fed and actually setting up the Fed in the process. Now, when we look at U.S. factory orders, well, we are seeing that they rebounded in March. So U.S. factory orders, they fell 4 of the last 5 months, and all of a sudden they start to rise, and they've risen by 1.6%. Now, what is happening here is Trump is continually bringing back jobs, bringing back manufacturers, having them build plants and invest in the country. This takes some time, and this won't happen overnight. It's going to slowly happen. Does this mean the central bank economy is getting better? No, what he's doing, he's bringing back the corporations, the manufacturers, and giving people jobs. Once they have jobs and they have money to spend, guess what? Other businesses pop up around those areas. And this is a very slow process, but we can see that we are on our way. He's setting up a brand new economy once the central bank system completely implodes on itself, and once we get rid of the central bank. Now, we have some good news and some bad news. The good news is that productivity is surging at its fastest rate in 9 years. The bad news is that it's on the back of lower labor costs. And what we are seeing is that we're seeing a mixed bag that have to do with factories producing products, with people working, with wages, and we're going to see a mixture moving forward because Trump is doing whatever he possibly can to bring back these jobs. Now remember, before Trump was doing this, wages, productivity, factory orders, they were all declining. He's turning this around, trying to bring back the economy so we can transition into a new economy. And we're going to see this mixed bag as we move forward. But we need to understand is that the main mission is to get rid of the problem. The problem is the central bank. Now, he had two candidates. We had Kaine and we had Stephen Moore. And it looks like Kaine, he backed out. And now it looks like Stephen Moore decided to withdraw from the Fed nomination. President Trump tweeted out the following: Steve Moore, a great growth economist and a truly fine person, has decided to withdraw from the Fed process. Steve won the battle of ideas, including tax cuts and deregulation, which have produced non-inflationary prosperity for all Americans. I've asked Steve to work with me toward future economic growth in our country. Now, Stephen Moore and all the other people that are coming into the Fed, they don't know the full extent of the plan. Now, their disagreement was on Trump's wanting to cut rates. And we know why this needs to be this way. And these individuals, they don't know the full plan. Trump is choosing these individuals because of their ideals and what they believe in. And they believe in gold. They believe in reorganization of the Federal Reserve. They believe in restoring the power to the people. And just because he goes through these candidates doesn't mean that these are the candidates and there's nobody else. Trump goes through many, many people. And again, you don't know if you're getting the right person. Yes, you can ask many questions. You can continually look at their resume. You can ask them once again, but you truly don't know if this is the right person. And sometimes they don't agree with you on certain aspects. He needs someone to agree on everything that he's ready to do. And he needs those people in the Federal Reserve. So he has other choices. This is part of the plan. This is part of the process. Don't get worried. But what's very interesting is we see gold is declining and the stock market is declining and the dollar is surging. Now, once again, we know Basel III is in effect, and we know there's a lot of central banks that are purchasing gold. And we know they're going to keep the gold prices down for quite a while. We know that Russia, China, India, and many other countries, they're accumulating gold. And I believe the prices are going to stay down very, very low for a while longer. Maybe even up until the 2020 election. We might see them creep up a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be that quick as everyone is saying. Because I think he needs to have everything stay the way it is so everyone believes the economy looks fantastic, because he needs to set up the Fed and he needs to keep the gold price low right now so other areas can accumulate, even the U.S., even though they're not saying anything. And what we're seeing right now is that the central bank has fallen right into the trap that Trump has set. Remember, his whole entire plan is to set up the central bank, to make everyone think logically of why this is happening. And he's setting it up where every time he says something and the Fed doesn't listen, something bad happens. Now, I don't mean the world comes to an end. I mean the stock market goes down. So yesterday, he tweeted out that he would really like a rate cut. Kudlow was talking about a rate cut. And we know that the Fed was going to have a Fed meeting. He knew the Fed was going to have a Fed meeting. But he didn't want the Fed to cut rates just yet, because he needs the mainstream media off his back. He needs the deep state, the other bad central bankers off his back, saying, listen, they're completely independent. I am not telling them what to do. I'm not forcing them to do anything. But in reality, behind the scenes, he really is. But he needs to make it look like he isn't. Plus, he needs to show that if the Fed doesn't do what he says, because he has the magic wand, he's in control, he controls the narrative, the economy will fall apart. And that's exactly what happened. Think about it. The Fed just had a meeting saying, okay, we're not going to raise rates. And Powell's out there saying, listen, Trump doesn't control me. The mainstream media was like, yes, the Fed's independent. Trump doesn't control the Fed. They didn't listen to him. This is fantastic. What happened? The stock market came down. and it's continually declining. Yes, it's going to go back up. But the whole purpose of this is to show, look what happens when the Fed doesn't listen to Trump. Who knows how to keep the economy moving along? The Fed or Trump? Who knows better? Trump. Trump controls the narrative. The patriots control the narrative. That's the push. That's the plan. I mean, think about it. What is the mainstream media going to say? They can't say anything. Everything that Trump does, the economy goes up. Everything the Fed does, everything starts to slide. What are the bad central bankers going to say within the central bank system? They can't say anything. What's the deep state going to do? They can't say anything. They are trapped. He controls the entire situation, and he's leading them to where he wants this all to go. It's part of the plan. And you can see that all of this is starting now to fit together. And we know that the patriots are now on the offensive. He actually took the offensive role with the economy. I know we're all talking about the political aspect, but on the economy, the patriots are now on the offensive. The patriots control it all. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.